Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran.
Hey, first thing, we have like our leader, like who your co-leader is. If you would, I know we got a lot of people missing that couldn't be here, but if your co-leader's here, I just want you to meet them beforehand, maybe sit next to them. Do we have that?
It might, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, those are your, like who your co-leader is. Find them, meet them real fast if they're here. I think some people are still on their way too.
Nicole?
Where's Sarah?
PG and Nicole Martin.
Yeah, Nicole Martin.
Is Blake coming?
Oh,
Oh, really? That's awesome.
with my children, our children.
Oh.
Is that's not my point? Okay.
Hey, Kenny, how's Stevie? With me and Noah.
What? Did I skip a group?
Turns out you're not going.
Oh, all right, bye-bye.
No, you're. I told you it's you, Clay, and Noah.
I definitely skipped a group.
I think that's your only group though.
Yeah.
That's right.
I definitely did not make this though.
Let's go do this first.
I think a lot of it will go.
She's leading.
It has the page number.
Awesome. Hey, well, we're really excited that you guys are coming to high school camp with us. Who's been to high school camp before? Even as a student? Well, yeah.
Does Bravo Beach count?
Bible and Beach does count.
Yes.
Yeah, Bible and Beach counts. Awesome. It's an incredible week. It's just one of those weeks where God just shows up in unexpected ways, and there's students that you never think, would have a moment with Christ that comes to Christ, and you're just like, wow. And so many new students too, that this will be their first event with us as a ministry. And so it's a really special 5 days. And it takes all the energy out of you, but it is worth it. And there's like lifelong, that's one of my favorite things about high schoolers, is there's just like a lifelong connection that happens because of high school camp, amongst the students and amongst us too as leaders. And so we're really excited. We couldn't do this without you guys. And obviously I mean that because we wouldn't be able to take so many students. And so we're really excited that you guys are able to go with us. We really appreciate it. And I say this a lot, but like leaders are the backbone of our ministry and also of camp. Like if we didn't have you guys, it would not go nearly as well, obviously. And you guys are what makes the difference in our students' lives. In that small group time, just hanging out with students, there's like one-on-one relationship and moments, that you guys get with students. That really is the key to winning students to Christ. And so we're really excited. Thank you for coming. Anyway,
Yeah. So if you don't know, this year we're going to University of Tennessee, so that's new. The campus is awesome. We got to go a couple months ago just to tour it, and it's beautiful. It's bigger than Bowling Green last year, but we're in a smaller area of it, so it's going to feel smaller even though there's more stuff, which is awesome. So yeah, there's a couple different dorms. So girls are going to be in, it's called Brown, and then boys are in Hess, which there's a map in here somewhere. But we'll kind of go through the manual, but you can flip through it. Yeah, so dorms are super, super nice, all air conditioned. For the girls' dorms, the bathrooms are in the rooms, so there's more bathrooms, and everyone will kind of get their own with their roommates, which is great. Yeah, and then afternoon time is going to be, it's more centralized than it was last year if you were there, so like I said, everything's like kind of in the same area, so there'll be like tournaments on this field, and then there's an indoor and an outdoor pool right there, and then all the elective classes are going to be in a building right next to it, so it'll all be in the same area, so everyone can kind of hang out, even if they're all, kind of doing their own thing. Everyone will kind of be inside of each other. Yeah, a big thing about, well, that's the third one actually. Never mind. Dining hall's bigger this year too. There's 3 floors, so that'll be something you'll need to communicate with your group of like, hey, we're on this floor, come eat here with us. Cause yeah, we're not like breaking it up by campus or anything, but after like the first meal or two, I feel like you'll have an established like, oh, we always eat at this table, and it'll be easier to find each other. But first few meals will be a little hectic trying to get settled. Yeah.
Also, this is Sarah.
Also, I'm Sarah. Yeah, I've met most of you, but not all of you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm kidding. I think I know everyone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we need that. Yeah, really excited. And we'll get to this a little bit later, but creating like a group message with your students is really going to be helpful because this is the biggest high school camp or Bible and Beats that we've ever had. Like, this is huge. I think, yeah, we're taking 131 students, which is a huge jump for us too. Like, we had 90 last year, 28 leaders, and then all campuses, 2,137. So, ton of students. We took 1,300 last year as a church. So that's like a 800 person jump. Like, it is unbelievable. And so it's going to be awesome. But because of that, like, there's 2,000 people on a college campus. Like, think about that for a second. Creating like a group message before we leave for you guys as a small group, it's going to be really helpful. Because if there's that one student that wakes up like 15 minutes late to breakfast and they're like, oh, I'm done. But they have that group message to know, okay, hey, my group's sitting at, this table on the second floor of the dining hall. I mean, we went to a dining hall. It's like multiple floors, which is awesome. But again, just understand, this is a big experience. And so having those like small group dynamics where you're like, hey, let's do things as a small group is really, really helpful. It'll make a difference. Yeah. Departure and do departure.
Yeah, so departure for on the 17th. So students are arriving at 10:30 here. So we need you guys to come at 10. So we can kind of get you checked in, get your stuff in buses, and then we'll send out later. Everyone will have a job for check-in time. Most of you, that will be just greeting your small group, so everyone can kind of congregate together, and you just like welcome them, start to get to know them. But then some people will help just like direct things or with luggage, things like that, which we'll have other volunteers helping too. So it won't all be on you guys. Yeah, so we'll send those jobs out, and then yeah, we'll have lunch here before we leave. So we'll have Chick-fil-A. If you can't eat that, let me know. We'll try to look at allergies and stuff. But yeah, we'll have lunch. We'll have a little time together, like we'll pray, just kind of get everyone set and ready for the week, and then head out by 11:30 is the goal. So yeah, and then when we get to camp, so that's on page 13. We're kind of gonna jump all over and then like go through the manual, but a big thing to pay attention to when you get to camp is on page 13. So we'll check in at our dorm and get our keys and everything, and then we'll distribute those out. We want to make sure that our students do not lose their key or the envelope it comes in, and they'll get a little lanyard to attach their keys to, but it's, yeah, so much money if they lose it. So try to emphasize that to them, and then we have to get them a new key. It's a whole thing. So
We'll highlight how hard that is if they lose their key,
like,
and how much they don't
They're not
want
getting
to
in their
lose.
room for a while if they lose their keys. So.
In the last 2 years being in college dorms, it was like a key every 10 minutes that I was hunting down.
Yeah.
Like, just help them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I won't read through all this, but just room maintenance stuff. Just make sure they're kind of keeping it clean. Like, we don't have to super monitor it, but they'll have to clean it up at the end of the week. So during the week, you could be like, hey, let's like throw out all this trash, things like that. All the rooms have mini fridges in them, which is great, but I also anticipate more food being in the rooms. So just, monitor that. Let me or Kenny know if there's issues, like a maintenance thing, like a toilet or anything like that, and we'll get someone on top of that. Yeah, so just taking care of the dorms. Curfew is a big thing, so that'll be at midnight. Yes, and that's one of our no tolerance rules. Like, if a kid's out after midnight, like, we're sending them home, and they'll know that when they get there. But obviously, you guys can help with that, just making sure everyone's where they're supposed to be.
And we're gonna do. They have to be like going to sleep at 1 a.m. And that is a big deal, because I can't tell you how many kids like I have seen in years past like falling asleep in session, and so 1 a.m. is a big deal. Another thing that's a big deal when it comes to dorms is making sure that students stay in their dorm rooms when it comes to sleeping time. At like 11 p.m., like if they want to go hang out in one room, like that's totally cool. We totally are for that. But when it's time to go to sleep, like they need to be sleeping in the room that they were assigned to. And I'm gonna like very in the same type of tone tell them this, but like they've moved beds. They picked up beds and like moved them to other rooms. That is not good, because when I have to find that kid, because of all sorts of reasons, and I'm like go to their room and they're like, we don't know where they are. That's an issue. And so I'm telling them how big of an issue that is. Yes, Sam.
One of my students realized invested with bugs, so they may do things. What if that's the case?
You can find me,
Yeah.
and they will stay. Is it all you have? Packing list. It's in here, page 12. This is for you guys, but also for this is basically the same for students. Bible, notebook, pen. Would love you guys have a physical Bible. Phone Bibles, just different. Clothes for 5 days. Modest swimsuit. For boys, you need to be longer than 5 inches. No Speedos, boys. I'd send you home for that. You want to talk on girls' swimsuit?
Yeah. Girl swimsuits. We had the parent meeting this morning, so one pieces are encouraged, or like a full coverage 2-piece. But yeah, there's dress code for both guys and girls. But basically, the female one is collarbone to like thighs. We want to keep covered. Which is, I told the parents, I'm like, don't make me have that conversation with your kid, but we will. So if you guys feel comfortable doing that, addressing anyone, we need to stay on top of that for guys and girls.
Did you say swimsuit is also collarbone?
No, that's just clothes in general. But yeah, swimsuits are, swimsuits, so they are what they are. But yeah.
And if you see students that are that are inappropriately dressed, the kind of how to deal with it. But if they're from a different campus, don't deal with it. Tell us though, or if if you see Bullitt County walking around and who the Bullitt County pastor is, you can say, hey, there's a student, and we want to know that as staff. They want to know that as staff. If it's one of our students, if it's one of your students in your small group, we trust you with that conversation if you want to have that conversation. If you're like, I don't want to have that conversation, we will, but we trust you to do it, especially if they're in your small group. If I saw, as a boy, if I saw a girl that's inappropriately dressed, I don't have that conversation. Sarah or their group leader has that conversation. And even if I saw a boy that was, inappropriately dressed in a different small group, maybe trust that small group leader to have that conversation. But back to packing list. Tennis shoes, comfortable shoes, toiletries, sleeping bag or sheet/blanket. And then, so for Hess, which is the boys, it's a twin size bed. So that's what we have, all boy leaders and boy students.
Extra long, I learned that.
Yeah, extra long. I didn't know I just thought it was twin. I don't, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So extra large twin for the boys. For girls, full size bed.
This is actually wrong. So the girls will be in full size beds. The leader rooms, all but 2, which we'll figure out who that is and I'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
But you guys will be in twin size beds.
Sorry.
In your own
It's confusing
leader room. Yeah. So that's for students are full size. But
So everyone's twin XL unless we tell you otherwise.
Yes.
Private.
yes.
Water bottle with a name on it. Highly recommend that. You're gonna get dehydrated in a second if you don't have a water bottle. Bath towel and a pool towel. Backpack. Backpacks are I take a backpack with me 24/7 and would recommend that for you because there's so many things you have to keep up with. If you just have a backpack, super easy. Earplugs. If you have issues with loud noise. I've never had that before, but it's on here. Earplugs if you have issues with loud noise. Any game or activity you like to do with your group, cards or something like that, is fun. And then this leader manual. If you can bring this leader manual, it is helpful. Did we cover all this enough?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The specific guidelines are at the bottom, but you guys know. You know
Okay.
how it is. Okay, so medical, page 11, it's right before that. So new this year, each dorm has its own medical team. and the main one is in Brown, which is our dorm. So hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a hassle. But if you haven't been to camp before, you'll get a list of names of your students that take medicine and when, like if it's a every night they need it kind of thing. And so it'll kind of be up to you to monitor. They should know, but if they're not going, like they'll tell us. We'll have to tell you. Like we'll know if they don't take it. So you'll kind of learn who those students are. But again, if there's more, this time it used to be one central place, so it should be easier to get them their medicine. And yeah, we have medical around everywhere all the time. So if anything at all happens, like let us know and we'll call them. Any bigger, like Band-Aid to ambulance, let us know and we'll get them there soon. Yeah, so all the locations are there. Again, if you haven't been before, students aren't allowed to keep medicine with them. So they'll have to check it in when they get here for departure. And that's why they have to go to the medical place every time to get their medicine. And yeah, it's different. Leaders can keep medicine now, right? Because they're their owner.
Yes.
Yeah. So since you aren't in a room with a student, you can keep your own medicine if you have it. And don't have to turn it in. And they shouldn't
Like keep it in your room.
Yeah, like don't give it to kids. You get it. You get it.
Even like Tylenol, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be bringing any over-the-counter medicine. Like we have all that there, so they might try to, but
And we'll say that too.
and if they have medicine, let us know. Like they need to turn it in, just because we don't want them to have control over who gets it if it's not them. Yeah, and then all the hours are down there. You guys can look at that. Yeah, and then they'll have to pick it up on the last day, but should be smoother this year than it has been in the past. So.
Talk about day camp, which is page 5. Or 4. So this is kind of a little bit of a schedule of what we're doing every day. So day 1 I'll talk about a little bit, but arrive at UT. We're gonna have like a little check-in. We're gonna receive keys for our group. And I think you're gonna be distributing those keys to every one of your students. It'll have, what room number they're in. And that's when they'll learn who they're rooming with. They'll learn when we arrive here, like who their small group is. They'll learn who they're rooming with here, which there's like almost never a problem because like we do a pretty good job of making sure they get who they want. So that happens. Small group time, dinner, night session, campus time, late night, and then curfew at midnight. Our campus time space is where?
Was it alumni?
No, the place.
Huh?
Sorry.
Alumni?
Alumni.
Let me double check, but I'm pretty
There's a
sure.
campus time space, but then there's a small group zone too, so
Yeah.
7 and 8.
Page 6 shows like our meal time.
Oh, 7.
Let me double check.
Here it is. Sorry. Okay, on page 7, it's Strong Hall. We're in Strong Hall for campus time. So that's where campus time is one of my favorite times, and I think we're really gonna like up the importance of campus time this year. I also told our students that if we got 130 students, I would shave everything but my mustache. So like that's happening first campus time. Like I think we're gonna do like some fun things at campus time to really like build our like just like connection as a campus. So
We're in alumni.
I'm gonna look like an idiot off camp. We're an alumni. I'm sorry. What we're looking at says we're an alumni building. They've moved a lot of things around, so we're an alumni building for campus time. But again, there's not many places that you need to know around campus. You really just need to know, hey, where's the dorm? Where's the dining hall? Where's the free time space? Where's the campus time? Is really about it.
Where's the large group? World Expo Center?
Yes, which we're taking buses to the large sessions every morning and every night. Day 2 through 4 is kind of like your normal day. Morning activities. We'll have a leader meeting. There should be breakfast in here. Morning activities, that's a word. It's breakfast. Leader.
Those aren't the
Oh, it's
classes
7.
in the morning.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, the morning activities are like, there's like classes and things that you can do in the morning, like refit, and there's like a boys like workout class, and I think a couple others which they're going to announce. Yeah, Clay, jump in there. Leader meeting, which is just like the Crestwood campus leaders. So I'll be sending out. It'll be usually somewhere near the dining hall, like right across the street, and we'll just connect and make sure that we're on the same page with everything. And then morning session, small group time. Do we have a slide for best small group? Yeah. No. Like, is there a? No. Okay. Sorry. So some of the like best ways to use your small group time effectively. One is ask every one of your students to bring something to the table. I think that's a really helpful like idea, so that we're all in this together. It's not 5 of us talking and then 4 kind of just like listening, and so that's a kind of a big deal. And then get in as close of a circle as possible, right? Like if this was our group, like we'd be a little too spaced out. Like we want to be almost where our knees are almost touching. Like that's how close of a group we want to get, because it's just like how you position yourself really matters. And so get like close. I have like an 80-20 rule, which is that we want our students to be talking 80% of the time, and then us as leaders to be talking about 20% of the time.
I'm allowed to talk at all because I'm not up there.
Are you supposed to be in this meeting?
I don't know.
Uninvited.
Okay.
Tell me.
Okay. Talk to me after. Yeah, we missed you. But the 80-20 rule, and again, try to ask more questions than you give more statements. Like I think that really, you're like the best way to understand yourself is like I'm facilitating this conversation right now. So how can you like kind of have those probing questions to let the conversation, let the students bring something to the conversation. After that, there's lunch, afternoon activities, dinner, night session. So afternoon, let me go back to afternoon activities. Afternoon activities, it's like, free time. They can do whatever they kind of want during that time. They can go to the pool. They can just hang out. There's sports, tournaments going on. I'm gonna try to get these right. Basketball, volleyball, spike ball, pickleball, dodgeball, volleyball, soccer,
Cornell?
Rocket League, yes, and Cornell. Yes, great job, thank you. And there's rock climbing every day too. I don't think that's a tournament. There's just rock climbing available every day. Should you wait till later?
Okay, can leaders play in the dodgeball tournament?
I would say probably not, but maybe. Like you shouldn't be dominating.
Don't they have a rule where it's like 1 leader per team?
Yeah, there's 1 leader per team.
Well, actually, they didn't let us, so I don't think.
Yeah, I think dodgeball is one they don't want leaders to play in. I think other ones they do.
For ultimate frisbee, we put together like a leaders team.
They shot it
They
down.
allowed that, but yeah.
Yeah. I think for other ones it's 1 leader per team.
Cut and dominated anyway.
There's also elective classes which aren't finalized yet. Yes, Nicole?
Afternoon activities, does that include electives?
Yes. So there's elective classes during that time. I don't have those finalized yet, but when I get them, I'll give them to you. So there's things like how can I help my friends follow Jesus, how to do a quiet time, how to deal with mental health. There's a lot of different options every day.
Will there be a service project this year?
No service project this year.
That was awesome.
Yeah. One fun thing that we are doing this year, there is like an official American Ninja course coming to the University of Tennessee campus, and students, they have to like sign a waiver, but they can do it, and they can, if you like are, like the best person from the Crestwood campus, then you get into the Night of Champions, which is night 4.
Yeah.
Night 4, which like there's gonna be one person from every campus doing the American Ninja Warrior course, and to like have our ultimate winner. So it's epic. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So that's happening. Yes.
They're not allowed to return to the dorms during the day, but still.
Yeah, we want them to stay in the free zone time, a free time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, hey, grab all your stuff you're gonna need. Like if you're gonna go to the pool, like, okay, bring your swim trunks now, but also make sure you have the shorts that you're wearing or whatever, you know, or vice versa. So, you know, bring your towel, bring your swim trunks, all that type of stuff. Yes. And there's a security team on campus too. So hopefully we can just invest into our students and not have to worry. I mean, pay attention, but like there's a team that's also kind of watching that perimeter, making sure that people aren't walking away from spaces they should. Dinner time, they'll be able to go, you see like afternoon activities ends at 4:30. That's a good time to go back to their dorm, and for most of them probably shower. Dinner time, and then we have night session. Which night sessions they have just a different feel than morning sessions. Morning sessions are a little more relaxed. There's still a teacher, there's still worship, but like night sessions are more like, I don't know, hitting to the heart of our students and what's going on. What is that? Hi, yeah, that's you. Yeah. Also, Lecrae is coming and doing the decision nights, which is night 3. Which night 3 on is there's going to be a way that they can like accept Christ in the room. I'm like losing my voice. I've talked a lot today. So I don't know what that is yet. But like night 3 is decision night where they can make a decision. They're kind of offered a decision, a time where they can make a decision for Jesus. And the key to that is making sure that you're just around your students to pay attention to who's doing what, so that you and your group can go with them and encourage them.
To go from breakfast to morning or dinner to night, you said there's shuttles or buses that are going to pick up everybody right outside the dining hall. Is that how you do it?
Yes, that's on page.
I think it's at the dining hall, but yes, we go on shuttles.
Okay.
I think it's near the dining hall.
How long does the shuttle take? So like,
5-10 minutes.
okay.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm assuming this will all be figured out the first day that we plot for the rest, but like there's 2 different eating sessions. So like in our kids, because we're the first session, so it's like, well then, do they go to the buses and go early, or no? Everybody goes to the morning session or evening session at the same time. So then if you're done early, then you just kind of hang out in the dining hall.
Yeah, just hang out.
Okay.
Yeah, hang
Yeah.
out, or the buses will start taking people over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't have to like stay in the dining hall. Like they could go outside and hang out.
They can, yeah.
They can't like, you know, go walk half a mile
Yeah.
in the other direction. But they can kind of go outside a little bit.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to walk to the exercise
No,
center?
no, they cannot.
It's
Yes.
like
Far away.
downtown
Yes.
Knoxville. Like,
Okay.
yeah, so
Um,
we're not walking.
I'm just gonna say this right now. A couple of things that will get students sent home. If they leave their dorm after midnight, they're going home. I can't even have a discussion about it. They're gone. If your group leaves campus, Nick Rosenberg, got in trouble with that last year. Do not leave campus. I will have to send you home this year, Nick. Yeah, do not leave campus. It's very obvious when you're leaving campus. Like no one's gonna be like, I don't know, is this not campus? Like you'll know. Don't leave campus. I have to send students home if that happens. Even if with the best intentions, I have to send them home. And so, and I'm gonna say that too, like when we're leaving and stuff, like they're gonna know these things. There's a grace night, but you know, alcohol, marijuana, drugs, vape pens, even if there's not CBD in it, those get sent home. And so I say that, we're very obvious about it, but some of those things get you sent home.
All right.
Stealing a golf cart gets you sent home.
Since you already called me out, what about them bringing food or ordering food at the campus? Because I know
No,
they're going to do
don't
that.
do
too.
that.
Okay.
And once you get sent home, it'll just make you lose $20 and I'll eat your meal. Yeah. Or someone else will. Yeah, don't do that.
What'd you
I have
Ordering food.
Ordering food.
Yeah,
on
they're
DoorDash.
never been to
There are the
a camp they didn't.
robots on the campus, and so I think those are fair game, they said.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty, because there's a lot of on-campus stuff.
Yeah.
The little like robots they have at campuses where it like drives
It's
up
like
to your
room
door.
service.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's different than like a DoorDash driver
Okay.
or something.
Yeah.
But also like you can't go out the door after midnight. So if you're ordering something at 2 a.m. and you walk out, tough.
Yeah, you're going home.
So yeah. Yeah. You have a mini
Yeah.
fridge. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a fridge. they're like it's good food, and it's like a buffet. Like you get as much food as you need,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so
And there's food at the late night parties.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna
Yeah.
starve.
Never heard anyone say they're hungry.
No.
no,
They're not.
Just thirsty.
just thirsty. Yeah. Okay.
Is there a Starbucks? I've already got questions from the girls. Am I heard?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure there is.
There's at least a
Fair.
coffee place.
You're gonna be
Exactly
waiting in
my
line for
point.
3 hours, but
It'll just show up randomly.
Late night, there's different themes, which are
oh, either.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, like the shuttle buses were mentioned, those are different this year. It's on page 10. It's literally gonna be like a bus route, like just continuous buses going instead of like, oh, it's like something's happening, you go. Like that'll happen for the sessions, but like a continuous, like you always know. And there's different, like colored lines, like it's an actual bus. So yeah, I don't have it all memorized. I don't have it all figured out, but just pay attention to like what bus you're getting on, like where it's going, where you need to be going, because those will be the same every day.
Right on time. The late night themes are on page 9. First one, Color Me Rad. So it's where campus colors. Our campus color is blue. Definitely one of the best colors.
What kind of
I'm colorblind. I'm just gonna say blue.
blue? Okay. Any blue. Okay. Any blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not another blue out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question.
But like 80s gear. So like, and I would say like as leaders, like we lead that, right? Like we are leaders, so we're gonna like if you want to get your students excited about that, like bring your A game too. And I'm not asking you to go spend $100 on Amazon, but like go find what's in your closet and like bring your A game, so that we can really lead that theme ourselves. Night 2, Once Upon a Camp, so you can dress up as princesses, knights. I'm not gonna say that right. Harry Potter, dragons, Peter Pan, Lost Boy, hobbits. Use your imagination, but it's Once Upon a Camp. Night 3, there's not a theme night because that's decision night. So again, it's a little bit the late night option and the theme night's dialed down, so it's more focused on what got to do that night. And then last one, that's a Night of Champions. So it also pairs together well with the Olympic edition. So, a jersey of some sort, a headband, whatever that looks like. Bring a trophy along, things like that.
Will the students know to bring this stuff too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we just had a parent meeting today,
Okay.
and they've been emailed all this stuff as well. Yeah.
Okay, so some security things. It's on page 18. So we'll just kind of go through all this. So your 2 primary responsibilities are to lead your small group and to supervise your small group. So obviously that's the spiritual sense and the conversations and facilitating that, but also just making sure everyone's like physically okay and where they need to be. Yeah, especially making sure people are like in session. If they're not there, like they're not allowed to not be there. So we have to know. Other than free time, like everyone needs to be in the same spot. And I'd encourage for free time, just try to, not everyone has to stay together, but try to keep your group together as much as you can just for community. So, be like, hey, we're all gonna go to the pool at this time, or we're all gonna go watch this tournament at this time. And again, you don't if someone doesn't want to do something, they don't have to, but just so everyone can feel included and have somewhere to go. On campus, students should be in pairs of 2 at all times and have leaders with them. So you can't leave campus. And then just a reminder too, the ministry safe rules all apply if you can't be alone with a student. So just trying to, 2 leaders and, if your whole small group's together, it makes it easier because then, you don't have to worry about the numbers of that. In the dorms, it's important just to, again, lights out at 1, making sure people listen to that and just making sure they're not breaking things and, doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. Curfew. We'll all have wristbands to wear that will kind of tell you like what campus, I think, maybe what campus or like adults or students. Those are a security thing for us, and then also like, you can't get into sessions without it. So just making sure they have their wristbands, or if they lose them, come find us and we'll get those. Kenny already kind of talked about the 0 tolerance boundaries. So the leaving campus, the opposite gender dorms, going outside, drugs and alcohol, like those are the 0 tolerance. Like it's outside of our control. We have to send them home. That's just a rule that our church has. Yeah, and then I kind of touched on some of the rules for leaders and students, but just not being alone with a student, not being on a student's bed, yeah, letting us know if you see something in a different adult, just to keep them safe, which again, everyone here is safe and trustworthy, but just, yeah, having eyes on that to keep the students safe. And then, yeah, just listening, report anything to us that students bring to you that seems not okay. The next page is the green light counseling thing that our church has. They sent out, we have like a training module I might send out. It's not required, but it would be super helpful just to kind of understand what these all mean. It's basically like, green light is like, you got this, like you wouldn't be going to camp if you didn't feel comfortable handling these conversations probably. Red light is, or yellow light is, it's a little harder, you know, maybe let us know, keep an eye on it, but you can probably engage in a lot of those conversations.
And the yellow light one, it's like you're not stopping the conversation immediately, like you're finishing it, and then you're talking to a staff member so that we can just, like, we need to be aware of that things for your safety and for the student safety. But you can have it, just let us know afterward.
Yeah. And then red light is you need to stop the conversation immediately, come find us. We'll probably bring our care team into it, or security, or whoever needs to be a part of that conversation. But those are the more like, okay, this is serious. Like we need to address this right now.
And you can have one-on-one conversations, but again, you don't have one-on-one conversations like alone. You have a one-on-one conversation at lunch with other people in the room that are aware. Again, so like we're not against one-on-one conversations. Like that's discipleship. That's great.
Right.
But just make sure you're doing those in a place where other people have eyes on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So highlights of security: just don't be alone with a student, and yeah, just pay attention to what's happening and let us know if anything seems to be not okay, or if a student says something isn't okay.
This kind of seems to fit here, but phones can be a huge distraction, and it's like the number one thing that I'm probably like intense about, because they're just a problem when it comes to distracting our students. And so the first time that a student, like you see a student that's like just like using it too much, if that's like they took it out during small group time and they're looking at it, or even, you know, at session, like they're looking at it a little bit, like tell them, hey, I need you to put the phone up. Next time I'm going to take it. The second time, like, do take it. It is so much of a distraction for our students that literally don't know how to have a conversation at lunchtime or whatever. And so this is a week, like we want them to have their phones, especially because like I hope you guys make, you know, group messages with your students so that you can be like, hey, we're here and there. Like I want them to have their phones. But if it's just an obsession of I need to be on my phone 24/7, even when there's awesome things happening around me, like warn them, but then like we would take it. And so don't let those be a distraction. If they're taking it out, like especially when there's like a sermon going on or worship, and it's more than just like checking it, like I really do want them like taken. And hopefully we're doing that in a way that doesn't, like they're not gonna feel like, well, that came out of nowhere. Like they're warned, but that's like a serious thing, because that's the number one distraction all of our students will face at camp.
Will our small group discussion questions be on our phones, or will they be like physical cards that we can read?
They're on cards in the morning. I think they're on your phone for the night session. But again, leaders are different. Like, we're asking them to turn their phones in, but like, we're trusting you because there's a different level of trust as leaders on many facets. So phones can be one of them too. Why we do camp? We should probably start with this. Do we have that? Why do we camp? It's connecting students with Jesus and one another during and after camp. Something you'll hear me talk about a lot, especially when we get to camp, is that we want our students to be connected to high school ministry after camp. I'll tell you this, I don't really care if they have a great camp experience and then we don't see them throughout the year and their relationship with Jesus tanks. Like that did us nothing, right? Like the goal for us as leaders, as a church, is that they would interact with Jesus and with others at camp, and then they would have a lifelong, relationship with Jesus. Which actually the theme for camp is like the rest of your life, and they're talking about like rest a lot, and it's like the rest of your life. And so like this is something for them for the rest of their life, and so encouraging them to get involved, throughout is the goal. But always the heartbeat, connecting with Jesus and one another. And we'll be sharing a lot like at our campus times, like, hey students, this is how you can get plugged in. This is how you can stay connected to your group and keep camp going. It's kind of the language you use. If the two things I would say, if you do these two things, then you are winning as a leader. Conversations and relationships. Like if you're having those conversations with students, in small group, but also at free time when you're, watching the dodgeball tournament, right? Or, fill in the blank when you're walking from one space to another. Conversations aren't just happening in small group time. Like there's so many moments that you can use as a leader to engage your student and get them excited about what's happening at camp, and just have those one-on-one conversations that really make a difference. And then just build relationships. If you have like a group full of students that love playing soccer and you've never played soccer in the day of your life, like try soccer. You might really stink at it, but just like find little moments where you can like just build relationships with them, and that comes through spending time with them all throughout the week. At mealtime, like encourage you, don't just sit with your leaders, like find your students, sit with your students. They will think you're awesome and cool because you care about them, so sit with them because they want you there. Yeah, I think that's it.
I was gonna say a couple of things we forgot to mention. On page 4, there's a QR code it's called the Craft site. So that's like the camp app if you've used that before. But it's basically this website, and it will have everything you need to know on it. I recommend you take this manual with you to camp, but everything will be virtual on here. So if you want to go ahead and go to that and kind of play around with it. There's a part I'll send in the group meet. There's like a password for a leaders only part, because students can use this if you want to give it to them. It has like maps and the electives and all this stuff in it. But there's a leaders only part which will have like your small group list, your medicine lists, maybe some other stuff. So there's a password to get into that part that we'll send. But definitely save that on your phone, have it with you. It'll have all the information, which we'll try to like let you guys know as stuff is happening, but if you have any questions, it's probably in there.
This is page 16, but something that we're doing new this year is we're having a lot of elective classes. One class we're having this year is on salvation and baptism, which will be hosted on Thursday afternoon at 1:30 and again at 3 p.m. So this is kind of for students that maybe just have questions about that, haven't done that in their life yet, and they just want to learn more. And I would say if you have even one student going to that class, go to that class with them. Even if like the rest of your students are doing who knows what, go with that one student so they can have a leader to have a conversation about what that looks like after. And then we're having a high school camp celebration service at the Crestwood campus June 23rd. Yeah, 23rd at the 5 p.m. service. So that's when all the baptisms that are going to happen that come from camp are going to happen at that service, 5 p.m. June 23rd. And would encourage you, the two things after camp that I'm going to ask you to be at is that, like if you can go to that service that week, June 23rd, yeah, at 5 p.m. We're also having an Oldham County Worship Night, June 26th at Crestwood at 6 p.m., 6 to 8 p.m. If you're free, like would love for you to be at that too, because that's like the first like real student event that they'll go to. And if they only, like this is their first event and they just know their small group from camp and they just know their leaders from camp, like if you can be like, hey, I'm gonna be there, like that just makes a world of difference in their lives.
Yeah, and then just one more thing in the back, there's a key contacts list. So Kenny and I's numbers are there, and then the midnight to 6:30 a.m. medical number is there. Those are the main ones you need to know. The student leads for every campus is listed. I would say you really don't have a reason to contact any of them unless like there's a kid like bleeding out and there's no leader around, and you're like, you're from Bullitt County, okay, I'll call Dylan. Like,
Yeah.
their leader should be with them, and that shouldn't be the case. But just in case of emergency, just so you have that. If there's no one from their campus present, you can give them a call. But basically, me, Kenny, and then the late night medical team number is there.
Sarah, what's your area code?
765. Sorry,
Okay.
ignore the 7.
Just
My
wanted to
bad.
be sure.
765.
Interesting. Also, our group me that you're in right now, we're going to be using that throughout camp. Please don't send anything in there, and if it's something specific to like a problem with, or you know, something like a question you have with your group or your student, text Sarah or I. If it's something that's like really for everyone, like send it in there, but I would lean toward no, so that when we are sending out stuff, like you're not getting 30 messages a day, you're only getting the essential, 5 messages a day that are going to be helpful to you. And there's stuff before camp too, so I hope you're checking it, about departure, things like that.
Ross.
Is there like a section of the Bible that we should pull up on? Are we in Romans still?
It'll be
It's the first.
Psalm 23 and then Matthew, is it 10?
11,
The
I think.
11. The theme verse is the one like my yoke is make my yoke easy, my burden light. Matthew 11 something. Should know that. And then Psalm 23. Like it's
Yeah.
a lot about rest, and
We'll send that out too. Thanks for
Yeah.
saying that.
Okay.
yeah, it's on one of the pages has like each
Page
day's
3?
theme. No, 14. Yes, Matthew 11:28.
Yeah. And Psalms 23.
What about our rosters?
I was supposed to have your group rosters today, and I honestly, busy week, forgot to make them. I'll send them out in the group me. Everyone raise their right hand though. Okay. You're taking an oath right now. Repeat it to me. I will not send my group rosters out. Thank you. It just causes so much drama. Please just keep your group roster to yourself. Just the silliest stuff. And so just keep your group rosters to yourself. And that way they can get it all together and no one's getting it 4 days earlier or whatever. And it just, and again, like they're going to be with the students that they should be with and want to be with. But just make sure, please don't send those rosters out. Yeah. Other questions? I'm really not buying it. I feel like there has to be
You said
something.
you're sitting in this.
Yes. Yes.
We can bring our campers with us at 10. Like, we can bring one with us at 10 when we go.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
We
Coffee?
could bring our campers
Oh.
with us when we have to be here early.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's coffee at the dining hall, but I think there should be a specific leader area too, right?
Oh yeah,
Is that your, again?
there will be. I don't know where that's at.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's at, but we have like a specific area just for leaders with even better coffee,
Excellent.
and hopefully some good snacks too. Though, I mean, I had the food at the dining hall, like, I approve.
It's good.
I approve.
It's really good.
Cool. Excellent.
Do you
Sally,
know if they can refill?
That's fair.
Ooh, I don't.
At the dining hall?
Yeah, we weren't allowed to refill our water bottles in the dining hall last year.
They should.
Like Nazi time?
Most colleges
For
will have,
germs,
like, the water
but
with the refill.
They
yeah.
set up buckets of
I'd
water.
be surprised
Most
if they
camps we
don't
go
have
to
that.
where you can fill up your water. Like they just have water outside the dining areas. And most of the places like that.
Yeah. Any other questions? Eli's ready. Nothing else. Okay, awesome.
So all girl campers need queen, right? But not
Full.
all leader.
Yes.
I mean full.
Yes.
Full, not queen.
Yes.
Full.
The leaders will need 12. Yeah.
Fine.
except for maybe one of you and I don't remember which one. So I'll let you know.
We'll
You're-
text that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, guys, I am really excited. This is like the 5 best days of our ministry, and it's just incredible to see what God does. Often in like some of the unlikeliest students, and there's specific students that, like I'll say this to you at camp too. Like there's students that you may not know their stories, but we do, and there's specific students that we're praying for. God, would you just do something in their life this week because they need it, or they're going through this at home, or they've had this opportunity but they haven't made this decision yet. So there's so much at stake that's going to happen at this week, and so if you could be praying for this week that's getting closer and closer, 15 days, and so we're really excited. If you don't mind, I'm going to pray right now, and just to get our hearts in the right place, would it be okay if we like got on our knees and just prayed for high school camp? Who's making the most groans?
Yeah, me and Clay last time.
You are not old, Clay. So, yeah.
Play to use pooping.
Yeah. I'll pray. Lord, thank you so much for the leaders in this room who are giving up their week to just reveal you to so many students who need them. Lord, we pray for an awakening among so many of our students that they're just finding no hope in everything else in this world. But Lord, I pray that they would find the hope that exists in you and in your son Jesus this week of high school camp. And so Lord, we're just so grateful that we get to serve and lead. And so Lord, we pray that you would do what we can't do ourselves, that you would bring people to faith, and that we would just be able to witness that. Just stand and pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys. Let's put the co-leaders up there if you haven't made a co-leader yet. And text Buttercup if you're watching this video.
He said no taking students off campus.
Yeah.